on this side now. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Coffee with the Azorean One. I am your host, the Azorean One Anthony Esteves, here live at Esteves Manor, only on twitch.tv/The Capeless Crusaders. How are you guys doing? How are things? Everyone doing well? Glad to see you. It's good to be back. The first Sunday Coffee of 2019. Here we are. First Sunday Coffee. Feels good. Had a great holiday season. Things were great. I'll go over some of the stuff I got verbally. I don't have them to show for you because I didn't bring them out. But I'll tell you about them. If you follow the Capeless Crusaders social media, you have probably seen them already. But yeah, things are good. Doing well. Taking a look here, getting some things set up. Waiting to see if anybody else pops in the chat here shortly. Sorry for being a few minutes late, but you know, Dad is home with the boys, which means Dad has to rush breakfast. So there's that. Take a little bite here of my blueberry bagel. Bagel. Wow. Still sleepy. Blueberry English muffin right here with butter on it. The blueberry and the butter, the way it mixes, it's great. And of course, the coffee, given to me by my wife's aunt, who kind of makes her my aunt. Best director in a family comedy. I've had this for years. Love this mug. Incorporates both my love for film and being a family man. Straighten out the mic here, because I'm hunching over. That's not a good thing. Let's try this. A little tappy on the mikey. There you go. Test. Who am I testing with? I can't tell if they can hear me. Well, we'll give it a shot. Here we go. That should be good. Anyway, good holiday season. Had a great time enjoying breakfast. Oh, by the way, if you are looking for everything that is related to the Capeless Crusaders and all of our shows, you go to thecapelesscrusaders.com. You go there, you see everything we do. Shows, blogs, videos, social media, all that's there. Thecapelesscrusaders.com. And we now have, of course, the Capeless Crusaders Network. That's right, TCC Network. For everything that's tied to us. What's everything, you ask? Let me tell you what everything is. Of course, you have the flagship show, The Capeless Crusaders. You have our show there every Monday on Twitch. That's on the TCC Network. What else you got? The Dame Patrol. You've got the Dame Patrol in the house. That's right. Manderson, not a fancy new mic, but a fancy mic. One of those things you forget you've had because of the show for so long. That's what it is. So, fancy mic, not new. You got the Capeless Crusaders. You got the Dame Patrol on the Capeless Crusader Network, her newest show. These gals bring you the geekery like no one else can. Amy from the Capeless Crusaders, she has formed her posse with two other fantastic ladies, Minnie and Stephanie. They formed the Dame Patrol, and there you have the Dame Patrol. That's one of our shows. We've also got Crossover, where the Manders unite, the son of Mander and the Dan of Mander. The Manderson-Danderson connection happens on Crossover when comics meets sports, and they blend and make courts. Sponics. Crossover. That show's on. By the way, because my cousin and I have the same thing. He's a Marvel fan, but he's a really big sports guy. Does a podcast for the LA Galaxy, has his own crew, the guys in shorts that I've been on before. There might have to be some sort of like a tag team match going on here. I'm just saying. The Mandersons, the Mander-Danderson connection against the Portuguese Hammer from Southern California and the Azorean One. That might occur. And I want it to be Hell in a Cell. Okay? All right. And of course, not to forget, also on the TCC Network, what you're watching right now, Sunday Coffee with the Azorean One, only on twitch.tv/The Capeless Crusaders. All of that. All of that is there for you. We're here for you. Talk about everything we talk about. We talk about comics. We talk about movies. We talk about pop culture. We talk about geekery. We talk about sports and comics. We do all of that. So there we go. I just got in and tagging people. That's right, Amy. That's right. That's right. I know. So before I get to my main topic, which if you saw on Instagram, I'm covering only the black beanie. So why the beanie? People are probably watching me. Dude, you're at home. Why are you wearing a beanie? You know why I'm wearing a beanie? Because this is my show. Okay? And I do what I want on my show. You want to have a beanie at home or wear what you want to wear? You make your own show. And you can wear whatever you want on TV. Okay? You're welcome. Yes, it is a great mug. Thank you. Morning, you handsome man. Thank you, Anti-Flyer. So, my show, I'm wearing a beanie. I'm wearing an old hoodie given me by the place I used to work for, and I just messed with the mic when I did that. I apologize. I have one of my heroes' t-shirts, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Just Bring It. That's the old wrestling days. So I got that on there. Crossover. You guys should talk about wrestling sometime. That could be how the Azorean One and the Portuguese Hammer get on, wrestling-wise. We'll see. Get David Barry to come in for a handicap match. Then you guys have no shot. Anyway, so my theme for today, of course, I'm going over one of my favorite partnerships in film history. I'm reading the comments here, I apologize. You're hosting solo today. Hello, Nerd Solo. Yes, Nerd Solo, I'll take that. Nerd Solo, I'll take that. I'm going over one of my favorite partnerships in film history. And I recognize that it's my bias toward these two. Because not everything they do is magic, but to me they're hilarious. Again, of course, I'm talking about the partnership of Jon Favreau and Vince Vaughn, the film broship, as I call it. So I'll be getting to that shortly, but I thought I'd run over some things about what happened over the holiday season. The gifts I got that were comic related. I have thanks to my mother-in-law, I have three new Marvel t-shirts. Oh, my movie quotes are being brought up in the chat. Those of you who are listening on the podcast app, I'm also live on Twitch. So you can't see the chat room right now, or if you're watching on YouTube, you can't see the chat room either. But if you're on Twitch right now, live, on January 13th, you can see the chat. Hang on one second. There's a cough. My quote, yes, was from Bad Boys. Yes, I've been a little late in my quotes, but I do get them within the day. It is the Bad Boys quote after they successfully race the bad guy in the Porsche. It's Will yelling at Martin. Excuse me, it's Mike Lowry yelling at Marcus Burnett. Now that's how you're supposed to drive. From now on, that's how you drive. Bad Boys, of course, being one of my favorite movies of all time, both the first one and the sequel. Very happy they're making part 3. I'm excited about that. Love Bad Boys. That was my latest quote on my Movie Quotes 365. Look for that hashtag on Instagram. Movie Quotes 365. You'll see the quotes I've done so far. Not all of them are mine, but the latest ones are mine. So, yeah, there you go, Anderson. Now that's how you're supposed to drive. From now on, that's how you drive. It's Mike Lowry, played by Will, yelling at Marcus, played by Martin Lawrence. If you haven't seen the Bad Boys movies, you're going to have to. Those are fantastic films. It's Will Smith and Martin Lawrence together. Come on. You're welcome for them. You're welcome for them. I enjoy putting the quotes up. It's my movie nerdum. Around this time of year, I get nerded out with movies because it's all the award shows, and I'm one of those guys who watches the award shows. I'm one of those guys who wants to be on one of those award shows in the future. I'm not going to lie about it. So, this is me overly saturating with the movies. I'm not calling you out. So, the gifts I got. I got 3 new superhero t-shirts from my mother-in-law. Both are Marvel. She got me a Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse Miles Morales t-shirt. It says all that in the front. She also got me a Black Panther t-shirt, which I think I have worn on the show already. I think I wore it on the Capus Crusaders show this past show. So I think I've worn that on already. And the other one is is a fantastic shirt. It's a Marvel The First 10 Years t-shirt that Amy pointed out to me is a collector's item, which has not been readily available. Somehow my mother-in-law found it. She finds these things. She finds that. She finds an Iron Man mug that's the classic Iron Man suit from the old comics that also hard to find. She finds them. eBay. That's what she does. She eBays. I wore a Miles shirt the past week. Thank you, Manderson. It is a sexy shirt. Thank you. You don't have to keep your pants on. Mine aren't. I'm kidding. My pants are on. They're on. They're PJ pants. The kids are here. I can't. Come on. They're watching Toy Story right now. So I got those three. My sister-in-law, Megan. I say in-law, but I've known her since she was 8. So she's my sister. My sister, Megan. She got me a Negan pop. Negan from The Walking Dead pop. So she, along with Amy, have made me pop collector. Have made me a pop collector. I wasn't going to do this. I was not going to be a pop collector. Amy gets me a Daredevil one. I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. Both Amy and Megan get me Iron Man pops. Tony Stark from Spider-Man Homecoming pops. One's at home. One is at my office. Yeah. What's wrong? Come here. Jackson spilled milk. There's no use crying over spilled milk. Come here. You didn't spill that bad. That sound is the paper towel drying him off. You okay?
You okay?
Okay, go stand. No crying over spilled milk. So, those were my comic-related gifts that I got. My wife got me fantastic jogger sweats. Fantastic. They're so comfy, I swear to God, I'm not kidding. Nice sweater. I got her I almost said Ruby Rose. I got her a Ruby Rose candle. A ring rose candle. But, however, I don't think my wife would have a problem if I got her a Ruby Rose candle. I think she'd enjoy it as much as I would. So there's that. I'm looking at getting a Ruby Rose candle for the house. Walk by it every day. Walk slowly by it every day. So those are the gifts I got for the holiday season from my family. I also got a fantastic face hugger from Mr. Antic Fire in there. Fantastic face hugger from Aliens. Amy got me lovely Christmas vacation themed glasses. That was fantastic. And David Barry got me a Batman Wonder Woman comic called False Faces. False Faces. Started it. Enjoying it. Thank you very much. So there's the holiday roundup for you right there. I thought I'd give you a quick update on certain things. Number one, we'll probably go into it more on the Crusaders show. But that Punisher trailer dropped this past week. And I've watched it 20 times. I'm listening once again to Alice in Chains like crazy because of that trailer. Into the flood again. Trailers remind you how good songs are. So yeah, the Punisher trailer was fantastic. I love just by trailers alone, the juxtaposition, the likenesses and juxtapositions between Punisher and Daredevil. Yes, I was also stuck in Metallica after season 1's trailer. Same. But the way they're the same yet different. They both have those intense hallway, close quarter fights. Both Frank and Murdoch have it. But then, of course, there's the change where Murdoch will be violent, but not kill. And then you got Frank, who's got a full auto machine gun within 3 feet of the guy, blowing him away while he's punching the other. Oh. Both those guys. So wonderfully adapted on television. I can't wait to binge Punisher this coming Friday, and then cry 3 days later when Netflix cancels it. Yeah, that's right. Dead silence is on purpose. Yeah, that's on purpose. Yep, still keeping silent because you know it's going to happen. Canceling greatness. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, if you haven't yet, go watch the Punisher Season 2 trailer. Then go back and listen to all of Alice in Chains. It's a great end of your weekend. Don't mind the crunching. Barry loves this. He loves hearing the teeth on the food. He loves it. I'm sorry, 2 weeks later they're canceled. I'll get 2 weeks of enjoying it. And then I'll cry like a little baby. Because I will, because Johnny Bernthal was born to play Frank Castle. I'm sorry. The Disney version of it when it comes... Oh my God. It does not... I do hope that these shows all go to Disney. It's just going to feel really weird having that the Disney Plus streaming service and looking up The Punisher. There's Mickey Mouse's logo, happiest place on earth, and then you click on Punisher, Johnny Bernthal blowing guys away. It feels weird. Okay. It just feels... I want to do it. I want to do it. But it's going to feel weird being on that streaming service and choosing TVMA Frank Castle. But I'll go with it. Jackie. So, one last news-related item over the weekend. While Aquaman fell to second, because, I mean, when you've been out for a month, almost a month, it's bound to happen. You're eventually going to fall. He and Hera are nearing the 300 million mark domestically alone. Wait, sit down. And just in the U.S., just in the domestic area, Northern America, it's going to be making 300 million. Domestically, Aquaman has made over $1 billion. It is now the highest grossing highest grossing foreign DC film. I think that's right, because Dark Knight still has the highest DC gross in the U.S. Yeah, it was 500 something. So yeah, Aquaman's killing it. All right, I'm getting yelled at by someone in the chat because they want me to get to my main topic, which I'm going to be getting information here now. Some side information. I have been a film fanatic since birth. Okay? So, Portuguese family, they spoke Portuguese at home. My parents spoke English just fine, but they wanted to keep Portuguese, the language, with me, and Grandma lived with us, so I had to speak Portuguese no matter what. So movies were my first English intro before school. Upsetting tick number one. You're right there. So movies is where I started learning English, just because I was watching movies all the time. I watched Looney Tunes. I watched Disney. I watched Christopher Reeve's Superman, Michael Keaton's Batman. Oh, by that time I already spoke English, but Christopher Reeve's Superman definitely is something I was watching a lot. So movies have always been a vessel for me. I would say Jurassic Park was the first thing I really nerded out about, aside movie-wise. I mean, there was Ninja Turtles, there was Ghostbusters, yeah. But Jurassic Park was my first, nerd thing I really got into. So movies have always been there. And one of my favorite... can you hit us with a little Portuguese now? Nem quero falar português agora, mas posso falar português... Nem quero falar português agora, nem quero agora. Mais logo. I just said I don't want to speak Portuguese now. Maybe later. We'll talk about it later. So there you have it. I'm not as good as I used to be when I was younger. I've lost some steps there, but... Yeah, we won't touch the... Well, I have no choice but to touch that stuff. That stuff, yeah, anyway. People who haven't seen the chat are like, what's this guy doing? He's just mumbling. What is happening? So one of my favorite collaborations in film, mainly in comedy, of course, is that of Jon Favreau and Vince Vaughn. The guys have known each other forever. They've worked together forever. They were both struggling actors trying to make it, and have found a way to continue working with each other as they've had their own separate successes. They both go all the way back to their first movie together. And their first movie together was one where they weren't buddies. I know that's weird because nowadays they're buddies in all the roles they're in together. But their first movie they were in together, they were rivals. I don't remember they actually talked much in character in the movie. That movie was Rudy. The movie Rudy with Samwise Gamgee. Okay, sit down. Jackie, sit down. Thank you. With Samwise Gamgee. That's right. Sorry, I got a BBC News update about R. Kelly, and I don't want to go there right now. Didn't know my news was still popping up while I'm on the stream. They were in Rudy. very small parts for Vince. John was the buddy. But after that, they were still trying to continue their careers as actors. And as you've heard from many actors probably during that time, it was a hard struggle. Matt Damon just did a podcast with Bill Simmons a few weeks back about his coming up in the business and how he got to Good Will Hunting. And all these same cliques and crews that knew each other, Matt Damon, Chris O'Donnell, Brendan Fraser, Ben Affleck, they were all in the same era of actors trying to make it. And just around that time, there was also John and Vince. And John wasn't getting a lot of roles, and John decided to do the same thing that Matt Damon and Ben Affleck did. John was going to write his own script. He was going to write his own story and try to get himself to star in it. So while Matt's doing that, John's doing this. I want to say they both worked on their projects for years. A script is never something you can crank out, unless you're John Carpenter and someone's paying you to write a horror movie and you crank out Halloween in 2 weeks. That's pretty good. Otherwise, you get some time to develop your stories. And granted, Good Will Hunting is slightly more complex than what Jon Favreau came up with. But of course, Jon Favreau was coming up with a straight-up comedy with only a little bit of drama. And Good Will Hunting is one of these dramatic masterpieces we have. So John types up a little script called Swingers about a guy whose girlfriend after 6 years breaks up with him. He moves from New York to L.A. to be with the rest of his buddies, and they try to introduce him back into the nightlife scene to get his mind off of her. Jon Favreau plays, of course, Mikey, the guy who has been broken up with, and he got his buddy Vince to play T, or Trent, the ego-driven, popular guy in L.A. who's trying to help his buddy out. And from there, that's where it began. Those of you who caught my posts, you may have noticed that I was using lines that you may not have understood if you haven't seen Swingers. I told you this is going to be a crew that you're so many and you don't even know it. Or today I posted that they never always double down on 11. These are all lines from Swingers. My cousins and I, my cousin, the Portuguese Hammer, Eric, and his brother Bobby, we would recite these lines repeatedly after seeing this movie. Swingers is one of those movies we quote like crazy. Who's the big winner in the casino, Mikey? Mikey's the big winner, yay, and raises his hand in the casino. Making Wayne Gretzky's head bleed. They're playing the old 90s Sega hockey game, and one of the guys, Sue, loves Wayne Gretzky. He's wearing a Wayne Gretzky jersey, and Vince Trent decides to make his head bleed, and it's hilarious. The awkward phone call, raises her hand. Amy, you haven't seen Swingers. Amy, you're in luck. Like I posted on January 1st. Swingers is on Netflix. Swingers is on Netflix as we speak. If you want to see Swingers, or if you want to take my recommendation, there we go, Antic Fire, saying Swingers was ahead of its time, honestly. You're damn right it was. If you want to see Swingers, it's on Netflix now, and I'm done with this show, go watch Swingers. The awkward phone call is outstanding. Those of you who don't know, I'm not going to spoil anything. Mikey succeeds in getting a girl's number, and he's told by the guys that you got to wait some time before you call her. Well, he doesn't. He calls later that night, and that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say. It's a fantastically awkward, funny scene. That's me eating, those of you listening. So, those of you who haven't seen it, it's on Netflix right now. It's on Netflix. When I'm done with my show, because please keep watching, go find it, enjoy it. It's only 90 minutes, an hour and a half. You're going to see a lot of recognizable faces. You're going to see, you got Jon Favreau, you got Vince Vaughn. I forget his name right now, but the main guy from Office Space. Totally forgetting his name right now. He's on that new show, A Million Little Things. Oh, you know who he is. The main guy from Office Space, he's in Swingers. He was in Swingers first before he did Office Space. I have freaking IMDb up right now, and I'm freezing on you guys. Smart guy over here. Let's go back to Swingers. Swingers is also the first movie Jon Favreau produced. That's where his producing began with his first thing. Here we go. Hold on. Ron Livingston Esteves. Ron Livingston. Thank you, Ruru. Ron Livingston from Office Space. He's in this movie. You got Patrick Van Horn who plays Sue. You saw him again later on. Vince Favreau Vaughn team up. Heather Graham of course, is in this film. Heather Graham, a year before Boogie Nights. The year before Boogie Nights, she did this movie. So, there's a heads up before she became really big. Roller Girl. And you also got... Alex... I have a hard time saying his name. Alex Desert, isn't it? Yes. No. Okay, sit down. Okay, wait. Alex Desert. It's got an accent over the E. I'm not sure. He also does. He also sings for a band, so there's that too. And Vernon Vaughn, John, Vince Vaughn's. I had no idea about this part. Vernon Vaughn, Vince Vaughn's dad, and Joan Favreau, John Favreau's mother, are gamblers in the Vegas casino. Vernon Vaughn is a $100 gambler, the one where they're not that great at, and Joan Favreau, John's mother, is the $5 winner at one of the tables. So if you watch that, look for Vernon Vaughn, Vince's dad, and Joan Favreau, John's mother. So there's that for you. So if you haven't, go see Swingers. It's on Netflix. Gain all the points. Learn about where it began, because from there, those guys went on to do Maid. Maid was also written by Jon Favreau, and I believe Favreau directed that. Let me verify here for a second. Yes, Favreau wrote and directed the movie Maid. Maid is enjoyable. To me, not as good as Swingers, but still enjoy the film. And another 95-minute movie. Swingers, by the way, was directed by Doug Liman. Doug Liman went on to go do Go, The Bourne Identity, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the Christian Haydenson movie where he can appear in different areas of the world. Jumper. He did Jumper as well. So Doug Liman, before he did those movies, Swingers was his second film, I believe he did. So they did Maid. After Maid, Vince had gone on to do before Maid, Vince did The Lost World, Jurassic Park. John did Deep Impact. So they were starting to get these bigger roles that they can get bigger paychecks off of. Then from there, as I go through Scroll City, that's how I scroll. That's my scrolling sound. Favreau actually played Rocky Marciano in a TV movie about Rocky Marciano. That makes sense. If there's anyone who's jumped up and down in his weight, it's crazy, but Jon Favreau, man. If you watch Swingers, the guy is ripped in that movie. And he's fluctuated back and forth. I mean, it happens. I've fluctuated quite a bit. From there, Favreau went on to direct Elf. For those of you who don't know, Jon Favreau, while appears in Elf, directed Elf. He was the doctor, of course. They later went on to be in The Breakup, the Vince Vaughn, Jennifer Aniston film, The Breakup. In this case, Vince Vaughn's playing the straight character, and Favreau is playing the not all there, kind of crazy, little too much friend, which that's what Vince kind of is in Swingers. So then The Breakup together. They then did Four Christmases, which Barry has always told me he thought was a weird movie. It is a weird Christmas movie. He plays Vince's brother who's like an MMA trained. Vince Vaughn's brothers in Four Christmases are Jon Favreau and not Dwight Yoakam. Oh my God, Mr. Faith Hill, Tim McGraw. I used to know country stars way back when I was much younger. Now I'm forgetting them all. Tim McGraw also plays his brother. He was on Friends. Yes, he was the MMA fighter on Friends, Jon Favreau. Chef is a fantastic film. Swingers and Chef, like the same type of budget. Except the only difference is in Chef, John got his Marvel buddies to be a part of it. Because you got RDJ in there and Scarlett's in there. It was after Iron Man, of course. After Four Christmases, the guys did... Oh, I forgot that Jon Favreau was in I Love You, Man. That was a fantastic role for him. Hey. Okay. They then went on to do one of my favorites of theirs, which is called Couples Retreat. Couples Retreat is one of my favorites of theirs, just because the crew they have on there. It's on an island, so if you put me on an island, I'm a happy camper. And it's a typical thing. Now, here's my bias with John and Vince. if there's a movie trailer that has the two of them bickering with each other in it, I don't care. I want to go see that movie. It's a bias I've had since I saw them in Swingers. Anytime I see a trailer and it has Vince Vaughn and Jon Favreau having some sort of bickering with each other, I will turn to my wife and say, I want to go see that movie. The Breakup trailer, it had Vince and Jennifer, of course. Then they had those cuts of Vince and Jon Favreau bickering. And I'm like, okay, sign me up. Four Christmases, sign me up. The taboo game part of Four Christmases is one of my favorite parts, when Jon Favreau is answering everything while eating a buffalo wing. It's great. Couples Retreat, they're all bickering with each other. You have Vince Vaughn, Jon Favreau, Jason Bateman, Faison. You have, I say Sarah Marshall every time. I'm going to say Sarah Marshall. She's Sarah Marshall to me. Fantastic film. For me, comedy-wise. But, that's my bias there. When they're bickering, I'm watching the movie. I can't help it. The start of a decade, yes. And then Jon Favreau went on to meet his new buddy, Robert Downey Jr. And they made a few small films. Those of you wondering when I say that, though, it's not that the Vince Vaughn-Jon Favreau partnership has ended. They're just working on separate things. They're still bros. They're still buddies. Vince Vaughn went on to start his West Wing Production Studios. That's his production company for the movies he does. And they are also part of their buddies. Their broship is a third member of the Favreau-Vaughn broship. There's a third guy, their little buddy. You might not know this. That buddy's name is Peter Billingsley. You know Peter Billingsley better as Ralphie from A Christmas Story. Little Ralphie. He is buddies with Vince and John. You would have noticed him, yes, Christmas Story. You would have noticed him because he's actually produced a few of the movies that John and Vince have done together. I believe he directed Couples Retreat. He was also an elf. Yes, that was meant to happen. Favreau got him to be an elf. Peter Billingsley is also the airport attendant at the check-in who is telling Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon in Four Christmases that their flight's been canceled, they can't leave. That's Peter Billingsley. He's a buddy of Vince and John. His name appears in quite a lot of their work, whether he's executive producing, writing, or directing, which again, Couples Retreat, I believe he directed. So there's someone else you may not have known who is a part of the Favreau-Vaughn broship. So there's your three. The little buddy of the three. Which is funny because if you consider it, he's been in the business longer than them. Granted, he was only this many years old when he was. But he's also teamed up with Vince on his Wild West Studios productions. So there's your hidden bonus there. Your spoiler. Your Easter egg. I have an Easter egg. So I understand, and don't get me wrong, I'm not going to say that Vince Vaughn is the greatest actor of our time. I love Vince Vaughn. I recognize that Vince Vaughn plays the same style in all his characters. It's Vince Vaughn as. It's not Vince Vaughn becoming a character. It's Vince Vaughn as. I'll say that I like his performance in Murder. True Detective. That was one of those few roles where, to me, he wasn't being Vince Vaughn because he was being dramatic. When Vince goes into drama, that's when he actually does try to hide his Vince Vaughnness. But when he goes into a comedy, he's always Vince. He's the same guy he's been since Swingers. I don't hate that. There's plenty of actors who are like that, and they still do a good job. It's true. Will Smith, aside from Ali, Pursuit of Happiness, and the latest one, Concussion. Right? Concussion, yeah. Those were three movies I'd say where he actually does become his character. Otherwise, you're my Vince Vaughn. Hey, that's a compliment to me. I'll take it. I'll take a Vince Vaughn title. Buff hugs, thank you. I'll take that. I'll take it. So aside from those two roles of Will Smith's, he is playing Will Smith in the movies. That doesn't mean I don't like his performance. I go to a Will Smith movie because I want to see Will Smith. Now, if he's actually delved into someone else, that's a bonus. And I do say Pursuit of Happiness, not just because I was an extra in that. Honestly, he actually was playing against his usual type in that movie. So Vince Vaughn has that to him. John can be dramatic and not be who he's been in Swingers. But the Jon Favreau, aside from Four Christmases, where he totally plays a weird brother of Vince's, when he and Vince are together, they resort back to what they do. And it works. That's what you want them together for. Who is this Jon Favreau? Yeah, Buff Hugs. If I'm your Vince Vaughn, who's your Jon Favreau? Well, we'll wait. I'm kidding. We're not going to wait. So that it's a bias I have. I consider myself someone who will take a movies for what's in the film, delve into the topic, critique it where it needs to be fair about it. I will let you know when I have a bias, though. And the Favreau-Vaughn broship is a bias I have. I'm not going to be honest with you on that one. I'm going to say, maybe the movie did suck, but it's got John and Vince in it, so I'm good. It's a weakness I have. The Guitar Hero scene in Couples Retreat. Star power. I'm sorry. I'm rolling at the idea of it again. It got me young. Got my cousins young. And since then, Favreau-Vaughn for life. And RDJ fits in with their style. I'm just saying. I would actually give me a movie. Give me a movie. RDJ, Jon Favreau, Vince Vaughn, and Peter Billingsley. We do a 4 BFs comedy with these 4. I'm in. Yeah, I'll already tell you right now, my favorite comedy of all time. My favorite comedy of all time. If you got those 4 in there, bickering back and forth. Make Peter Billingsley the quiet friend who's just doesn't want his buddies yelling. The other 3 are yelling. Wait. So there you have it. So if you're interested in learning about the beginning of Vince and John and seeing the actual film for itself, as I said earlier, Swingers is currently on Netflix. Yes, wait. Swingers is currently on Netflix. You guys can hear me telling them wait. That's great. That's microphone on me. Watch Swingers. Take it in. It's 1996 in the movie. So remember, the movie's now 23 years old. There's no cell phones. Not our types anyway. Cars are different. Certain, lots of language is used. Put yourself back in that time. It's also the beginning of swing music. Well, it's not the beginning. The comeback of swing music. So if you go watch Swingers, you'll notice you're going to see Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. That's why I incorporated them into my quote on my Instagram. That's where they appeared. They're in the movie. The resurgence, yes, thank you. The resurgence of swing music because of this movie. It's all over. Big Bad Voodoo Daddy has 2 or 3 songs in it, and they're performing live at the bars they visit. So, there you have it. So, go watch Swingers. Carve out 90 minutes. Excuse me. Carve out 90 minutes of your time. Watch the movie. See what you think. Let me know. Go to my social media, or let me know when we're on the show, what you thought of Swingers. They're throwing balls around. I don't know why they're doing it. Let me know what you think. I'm a full supporter of it. I will take whatever you think of it. It might hurt me a little bit in my heart, but I'll get over it. Take some time out, watch it on Netflix. From there, try to find the other Jon Favreau, Vince Vaughn collaborations and see what you think. To me, the stronger ones, The Breakup and Couples Retreat. Those are the stronger ones. Will I still watch Maid and Four Christmases? Yeah, I'm gonna watch them all. But go watch Swingers. Let me know what you think. Okay, kids, you can now make all the noise. Yes, you can. Ruru knows I'm saying goodbye, so they can all make the noise. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for enjoying the show. Hopefully, you get a sense of why I love the Favreau-Vaughn broship so much. I can talk about it for hours, but I cannot take up hours right now. They won't let me. I could have done a 3-hour show. they won't let me. So, with that said, if you're looking for everything, thank you for thinking I'm fabulous in this beanie. I appreciate that. Love this beanie. I'm a slouchy beanie guy. If you're looking for more on the Capeless Crusaders and everything we have to offer, you go to our website, thecapelesscrusaders.com. Everything we do is on there. You'll learn about the Capeless Crusaders Network, our new network of shows. What network, you say? Corthaniel, thank you for saying it's a great show. I appreciate that. What shows do we have? Well, let me tell you. Aside from the flagship show, the Capeless Crusaders, every Monday night on Twitch, you get the Dame Patrol. That's right. 3 BA ladies talking about the geekery that is involved in this fabulous world of pop culture. Amy, Minnie, Stephanie, the Dame Patrol. That's our newest show. We got Crossover. The Manders Unite. Manderson and Danderson talking about sports and comics together. Check them out. Usually Wednesdays, I believe. Then, of course, there's a show you're watching now. Sunday Coffee with the Azorean One. Every Sunday morning, I talk about something random that we don't usually cover, or we might cover. Depends on how I feel. There you have it. All a part of the Capeless Crusader Network. For more info, thecapelesscrusaders.com. Follow us on Instagram, The Capeless Crusaders, Twitter, The Capeless Ones, and our Facebook page. We get it all there. We get some fabulous sponsors. I almost said subscribers. Sponsors like Empire's Comics Vault in Sacramento, California. Sweet K. Forgot the address. They know the address. I don't. I don't live in Sacramento. I apologize. Critical Dice. 15% off when you use the code CAPELESS. Beard Balm Brush. I could use that soon. Right here. I could use it. Beard Balm Brush. Use the word CAPELESS. 15% off. Those are our sponsors. Buff Hugs. Love you back, bro. For the rest of the Capeless Crusaders, the Dame Patrol, and Crossover, I am the Azorean One Anthony Esteves. Thank you for watching Sunday Coffee with the Azorean One. I'll be back next week. This is my son Jackson, showing you his tongue. You want to both show our tongue? Show your tongue. Ready? 1, 2, 3. There you go. There's a great start to your Sunday. Have a great Sunday. That's Thomas in his chair. Have a great Sunday. Go watch Swingers if you have Netflix, or steal your friend's Netflix and watch Swingers. 1120 Fulton Avenue, Sweet K. Thank you, Amy. Good day, everyone. End the stream.